So I'm sitting here reading or listening to some of these YouTube videos about the CDC eviction moratorium, which was just recently found unconstitutional. Of course, that is a correct ruling. And I thought to myself, and I haven't seen any videos posted, or not many, from the tenant's point of view, and I mean the intelligent tenant. I'm talking about the tenant who's been paying their rent this entire time, and that's the majority of tenants. I can assure you the vast majority of tenants have been paying their rent. And why is that? Well, do you really want to be a tenant who's taking advantage of an eviction moratorium by not paying your bills? Because eventually you're going to get evicted. And if you don't get evicted, your name's going to be on a list. And that list is probably going to be a pretty short list. And every landlord in America is going to want access to that list. And that list is going to tell every landlord in America what scumbag tenant tried to get away with stealing. Do you want a place to live? Do you want shelter? Do you want somebody to maintain that shelter for you? Why would you think you can get that for free? If you want to eat, do you want to walk into restaurants, order food, eat it, and get known for walking out on your bill? Do you want to go into grocery stores and steal food and run out? Your name will get put on a really short list and you'll get banned from those places. And then guess what? You're not going to find anywhere to eat. Same thing is going to happen with tenants who are dumb enough to think that they can get away with not paying their rent and scamming the system. They're going to get screwed in the long run because their names are going to get put on a very short list. And all these landlords associations, there's a national one, there's local ones. I mean, they're all over the place. They're all going to get together and they're going to create a list. And because they can put it on the internet really easily, they're going to create a list and they're going to say, look, any landlord that dealt with a tenant, put their name on this list. Another thing they're going to do is they're going to start pulling credit. They're going to look at eviction histories. They're going to see tenants who had evictions filed against them in 2020 and 2021. And if they filed a CDC declaration, it's going to show up on the Register of Actions. And every landlord is going to be able to see that. Now, I'm a landlord, and let me tell you something. If I see that a tenant who's wanting to rent from me filed a CDC declaration on, recently, why would I want to rent to that tenant? If I see that a tenant has had an eviction filed against them in 2020 and 2021, I'm not going to want to rent to that tenant. There's way too many tenants out there, or I should say there are way too many tenants out there who are looking for places to live. I don't have to rent to the one tenant who got evicted in 2020 or 2021. I don't have to rent to the tenant who took advantage of the CDC moratorium. I've got too many options. So that tenant who takes advantage of that CDC moratorium is screwing themselves in the long run. They're never going to find a landlord who's willing to let them rent, which means they're going to end up homeless because of the CDC moratorium, which means the CDC moratorium is going to result in more homeless people than it's protecting. It doesn't make sense and it's not logical. Landlords aren't stupid. Landlords are not going to rent to anyone who takes advantage of a CDC moratorium and sits there and tries to live for free. It's not hard to find news stories on YouTube about that one family I've read about that's been living in a house and owes like $80,000 in rent. I can't remember where that house was at, but there's videos of them partying and having a wedding and just not paying the rent. You really think that those people are ever going to find anybody to rent to them ever again for the rest of their lives? Is that what you guys really want? Use your brains. Use your intelligence.